Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to this week's episode of Tuesday Preppers, where we look at the news that's coming up for this week and we talk about trial rewards and equipment and materia and things like that that are going to help you with beating those challenges that are coming up this week. And this week in particular is going to be fun because we have a collab. And collabs are a lot of fun because they bring new players to the game. So that's always cool. And if you're a new player who sees this video because you're looking at how to play this game and see what's going on in this event, you know, welcome to the game and welcome to this channel and this series. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to help you guys learn how to kind of go after stuff that's in the game right now that can help you with these events. So like I said, this week we have a collab with Dragonquest, The Adventure of Die, and it is it's two parts for this first week. It's a raid and an EX battle, and so we're going to take a look here at the news and see what kinds of things we have to deal with. Now, we've also got some Dragon Quest units that are available for summoning if that is your thing and you want to do a step up to try and get those. It's going to be, you know, there and available for you to do going after these characters if that's what you're into. But we're not really doing unit reviews. We're talking about the content. So let's get into it. The raid is this one here, the decisive battle at Sovereign Rock Castle. And if you look at it, you can probably guess this is a stone monster, right? It could very easily well be a machine monster, but it's definitely a stone monster if you look at it. Looks like a big castle. It's pretty cool. And we know from the Japanese version of the wiki that this is a boss that is weak to fire, lightning, wind, or light damage, and that you can use attack and magic breaks on it. Now, these events, as far as a raid goes, are usually pretty easy. So usually you just bring, you know, whatever units you have that are going to give you a bonus and kind of go after it. But to help you with that and to make sure that you're taking out the final boss pretty easily, you're going to want to equip Stone Killer. We're going to go after some Stone Killer stuff today, which is exciting. And there you go. So you're going to collect event points and do raid summons. And there's actually some pretty nice starter gear in here. In particular, fragments and all the materials you need to update this or upgrade this free character, the Crocodile. So that's pretty cool. And then some event items and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely do the raid. It's worth it. The other one that we're going to be getting, the EX battle versus the Mistvern, which I hope I said that right. It is a demon monster, and you want to use fire, lightning, and you can use defense and spirit breaks on it, but not attack and magic. Now, this one comes with a reward here, the power cut, which is a very nice reward for any new player and advanced players as well, just for the upgraded stats here at the end. So definitely want to pick this up, and we're going to be doing some guides on it. It tells us what the requirements are: complete the quest, no items, 10 turns or less, and no continues. You know, for a lot of players, this is not going to be an issue, but we're going to try and figure some things out on Thursday, because I've never played this before. We're trying to figure out some ways to do this to try and get that mystery crystal for players who maybe struggle with this for some reason or another. So yeah, demon, use fire and lightning, and use your best defense and spirit breaks. And most of these are probably going to be pretty easy to just kind of blow up. But the last one here is the character battle. Doesn't really tell us a whole lot about what this is, but my understanding is that this is just like one of those daily battles that you get at one you can do once a day, and it just has like characters in it that you blow up those characters and get fragments, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like the EX, or not the EX, the daily coin missions that we've had in the past for like the Final Fantasy VIII event. You know, you could like beat up the dragon once a day and get stuff for it. So that's pretty cool. We get fragments for the characters, so that's very nice. So you could, if you maybe get one of these off of the daily, the free daily summon for them, you know, maybe you can upgrade them using those fragments, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to leave this here for 1 second, and we're going to talk about upcoming content. So we've talked about Demon before. And there's a lot of good stuff in the game for demons, so I'm not going to go into this too much right now, because we have a new category we've never done before, which is always exciting. But the trial rewards for demons are very good. Crucifying Coercion, Mask of Ashura are probably the two best ones. Darksteel Heavy Armor, the Force Mysterion from Lunera, very good STMR. And then the Demon Killer materia that you can get from a chest in the Duggle Village, which is pretty cool. But the rest of these trials, you know, the Quicksilver, the Ega Blade, those are kind of like falling out of favor the more and more we get into the double hand meta. These are one-handed weapons that are just kind of like, especially with magic variants coming out. You know, even some of those weapons, if they give killers that might be useful to a mage, are going to start falling out of favor as we go for more two-handed mage weapons. But these are the trial rewards you can get from demons, and just some basics that you can get. Demon's one of those ones that there's a million things out there for demon killers, so I don't worry too much about it. But there is definitely good stuff out there, and you can blow up most of this stuff with modern units very easily. But the new category that we've never done before is stone. And there's a lot of stuff. When I went to go look at FFBE killers, there's a lot of stuff for stone. So like the very first one here I want to talk about, the Stone Killer Plus material that you can get from Stroper, which is one that I've done on this series before. Well, not on this series, on my channel I've done before. Someone had a request for Stroper recently, and I did that. Stone Eater Sense is the one we're going to go after right now. That's, again, you get that from the Archaeo Avis advanced version. We're going to do that in just a couple minutes. The Darksteel Destroyer, the Darksteel Heavy Armor, those are from the Armor of Oppression fights, which is pretty cool. The Demon Axe, which is a weapon I think I've never used in combat, but I do have it upgraded with its rare ability, I think, in Item World. You get that from the Scorn of the Great Explosion, which is a really fun trial. Like, if you've never done that one before, like, maybe we'll have to go and do that one just for kicks one day, because it is a lot of fun. And then there's just a ton of TMRs and STMRs. Wild Rose Furian's Weapon Specialist is like super valuable, which it's very Furian. It gives lots of killers to lots of different races. Scanning Goggles, very good. The Impartisan from Final Fantasy VI from Moogle of Narsh Mog. Look at that, I said it right on the first try. Is a good one for a spear if you're into spears. It's two-handed. That's kind of cool. The Stormbinding Jacket from Esther, very valuable. Stone Killer from King Giat, who's a free unit you can get from friend points, which is very nice. And you can also get regular Stone Killer from the intermediate version of the Stroper fight. And then Graceful Footwork from Zenata. I'm just throwing this in here because it does give 4 killers, even though they're each only at 25%. But it's a good, you know, you can get that with a 5-star ticket, 5-star unit of choice ticket. So Zenata's there, but Wild Rose Furian's definitely the pick, as well as Scanning Goggles and Stormbinding Jacket. Those get used a lot. But the one I said we're going to go after is the Stone Eater Sense. And let's take a look at that here. So if we go into the game and we go into the Vortex, which is where we're going to see a lot of fights, we're going to go to Nemesis and 12 types takedown. And we see we've got these 3. Archaeo Avis is one of them. So yeah, we're going to do that one. Because it says we're going to get, it says here we're going to get Stone Eater Sense. What this is 40% attack and magic and 75% physical and magical stone killer, which is pretty solid. You know, 40% attack and magic's not bad for a free material you can get just from playing the game. Completing this quest also gets you Bird Killer, so if you haven't done that and need Bird Killer Plus, you can do that. And then some Super Trust Moogle exchange tickets and rare summon tickets, whatever. Here's the bird, or it's the Archaeo Avis, which is kind of like a bird dragon monster looking hybrid thing, but its type is a bird. You can see that there. It uses attacks that cause status ailments, and when its HP is reduced, the power of its attacks goes up. It lowers lightning resistance to start and then changes to ice as it gets below a certain point. So what that means is you want to be bringing a lot of bird killer to this fight. You want to make sure and protect yourself against status ailments, and you want to bring units that can do both ice damage and lightning damage. But reverse that order. You want to start with lightning and then switch to ice later in the fight. We're going to do that in a kind of a specific way. We're going to go ahead and click next here. And one of the challenges is to bring 5 units or less, so I'm not going to bring a friend. I'm just going to bring my own units. And here's who we're bringing. So we're going to be bringing 3 5-star base units. I know these 2 are NVAs, and this one being an NVA is kind of important. She's very strong at this fight. Gears, you know, reasonably easily for what she's going to be doing, and there you go. And then I know that I have, you know, a 3-star Roberta here, and if you don't have a Roberta, getting a Roberta friend is pretty easy to do. If you need one, you know, look for one either in Reddit or in the Facebook group, or there's lots of places you can get a Roberta friend if you don't happen to have one. But this can be a friend, so don't worry too much about that. If you don't have Roberta geared really well, focus on these over here. And then Bulwark, I know, is another NV base unit. Bulwark was technically given out for free during a Clash of Wills, so you could have picked up Bulwark if you haven't already. Bulwark really only brings a couple things to this fight. One is Ice Imbue, and one is Bird Killer. There you go. So we're going to take a look at their gear and stuff. These two really don't matter in terms of their gear at all. And then everybody else kind of does. But let's get into it, right? So here's the way we've got our Roberta friend built. Just for magic, magic and Bird Killer. So lots of stuff here, obviously. Hey, look, Weapon Specialist, the one we just talked about. And then, again, we're looking at it here. Bird Killer, 300%. That's the important thing. And then just as high a magic as you can. Roberta's very self-sufficient, easy to gear for specific stuff. There you go. So there's Roberta, has the special vision card. Whatever. Bulwark is just wearing the TMR, whatever. TMR and the vision card, and that's it. Okay, cool. Sylvie, I have with her own STMR and the Obsidian Bracer, which you can get from Season 4. Definitely do Season 4 and pick up this item. It's super, super valuable, but that's all she's got. Okay. Sacred Shield Charlotte. The important thing is just to technically, if the fight lasts this long, you do need to have a lot of ice resistance, and she gears really naturally for this. Her own STMR is very good for it, as well as, you can just throw on whatever else to get ice resistance. The boss technically has a 300% ice imperil, so if you have more than 400%, she's going to be immune to ice damage the whole fight, and that's fine. Boss also does fire and lightning attacks, but I don't really see these very often because we're going to kill it pretty quickly. And yeah, but if you've got some resistance there, it's not a big deal. The boss honestly doesn't do that much damage if you just break the boss, which we're going to do with the Obsidian Bracer, which is why it's so valuable. And there you go. Does have a vision card. Yep, and we've got some, reasonable spirit, reasonable HP. We're going to be just fine. The important thing is just if the fight lasts too long, you want to have enough ice resistance to survive the attacks. And then Medina, we've got built for as high magic as we can, while also trying to fill up get as much MP as we can. And then of course, Bird Killer, right? 300%. And that's important. So here's the gear that I've given her. If you don't have this, because this was a limited time item, you can just put on whatever MP hat you can. Just filling up as much MP as possible, and then Bird Killer as much as possible. And then the MP card from Oliveira. If you don't have it, whatever else you can stick on there for MP. There's not a whole lot out there for MP. But that's kind of what you're going for. And we're going to go into this thing and take care of it. So let's do it. Pretty easy nowadays. The boss starts by putting up a lightning resistance downfield. So you're going to do a ton of lightning damage if you can give yourself lightning damage, which is what Sylvie's here for. Let all the auto casting finish up here, and then we're going to get started. So Sylvie is going to, on turn 1, do triple to give lightning damage to the party, and then give limit burst fill to Bulwark. And Marion, watch over me just for buffs. Now, she already broke the boss with the Obsidian Bracer. So all the breaks are on there that we need. And fire and lightning resistance is down as well from some stuff that's already happening. So she's good to go. Bulwark, now that we have a limit burst gauge, can use skills. So we're going to use double jingle and do Pomelo's Prelude for 150 Bird Killer. Okay, cool. Pomelo's Prelude and Bulwark's theme for a Spirit Break. That's in the shift form. It's important to note that's in the shift form. Now, Medina is not really going to do any damage this turn. We're going to just do quad. Luna Verve just to boost stats. Lunatic's Metal to boost stats, and Luna Accretion twice just to kind of start stacking up, which is only going to happen on the damage from her stacking up is only going to matter on the next turn, but that's okay. Roberta is just going to use support from the skies. Mega Breath, and Draconic Triune. There we are. And then Charlotte is just going to double and use Knight of Knights and Light of Grandshell just to be really tanky. And there we are. That's turn 1. So support from the skies gave everybody Mirage stacks, which is going to help with a lot of the AoE attacks that come in, as well as the single target stuff. To Charlotte, the boss does get accuracy buff, so like Mirage works, whereas Evasion does not always work. So Mirage is better. Now that Roberta is stacked up and charged up with Mega Breath, she can do Quad Cast, Tag Chaining, Mystic Breath. And she's Lightning Element right now because of Sylvie, which is really cool. And Medina is going to cap that with Quad Thunderjaw. There we go. And we're just going to chain it up normally. So looks kind of like this. So I'm going to start this, chain. Okay. Now we are below 50%, so what's going to happen on this next turn is that the boss is going to shift to being weak to ice. The field effect is going to change, and it's going to get a big ice imperil. Bulwark, to help us with that, is going to go ahead and just do Ice Imbue. That's going to add ice to Roberta's attacks, which is, it's a good thing. There you go. And then all we really have to do at this point is just do whatever else. So I'm just going to use Mixtape and, I don't know. Oh, Electric Ensemble to refill Medina's MP. There we go. Charlotte can literally just... Oh, she uses her Limit Burst here. So Limit Burst here. And Sylvie is going to triple. She's going to use Spring Cleaning. This is going to give everybody resistance to status ailments. If the fight goes on longer than this, we're going to need that. She's also going to go ahead and use Growing Defense for a barrier and a defense and spirit buff, as well as Protective Vines for physical resistance for the party. There we go. Lowers ice resistance. Now you can probably guess why we brought Medina. Okay. Boss is broken, so it does very minimal damage. Very, very minimal damage. Okay. Now Roberta is ready to go again. Quad Mystic Breath. And this time, because she is imbued with ice and lightning, you know, we got lightning for 1 more turn. We also have ice for 4 more turns. She's going to be doing ice damage, technically lightning damage too, but it's not going to matter. And then Medina is just going to cap with Ice Onslaught, which is like her like ultimate like one-shot move. Uses all of her MP to do massive ice damage. And we're going to start that and then chain, and this fight's going to be over. So start that, chain, fight's over. So that's 3 turns, 5 units or less, no items, whatever else it was. We have to go back and look. We did everything. Hey, my rank. Ooh, my rank rose up. All right. Roberta actually did more damage than Medina, but, you know, it's whatever. So, Roberta, you're so OP. Look at that. Ridiculous. Okay. That would have gotten us all the rewards, though. We'll go back into it one more time just to look at it. So we complete the quest 6 turns or less. We did it in 3. 5 or less, we used 5, and nobody died, so we got all the rewards. So there it is. Go get you some Stone Killer Sense, which is, you know, not a terrible little materia. But that's it for right now. So we will see you guys on Thursday over on Twitch for a new content night. Hopefully try out some stuff, work on some clears for the EX stage, and get us some really nice rewards, and have fun doing it. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, come out over on Twitch on Thursday night, 9 p.m. Central Time. And then also be on the lookout for Friday, where we talk about, Ask an Old Mog, new content, kind of new mechanics, new stuff in the game, question and answer type stuff. And we'll be doing that on Friday. So if any of that interests you and you want to make sure you know when all of this happens, be sure to like and subscribe and follow and all the things that we do to keep this video and these videos on the forefront of your awareness. And with that, I bid you adieu, and you have a good night, and be good to each other. Take care.